Hello everybody and welcome to the channel, to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by W.GG, the energy drink for gamers, and by Eldridge Air Conditioning. And welcome to our Sunday Championship, the main event of the URL calendar. We are with the League 3 guys, and this week we are at Monza, just north of Milan in Italy. And we do have the chicane, but I will talk about that as we go around. First of all, I do want to just have a quick rundown of the top 5 and the bottom 5 of the table. Now this is after week 4. This obviously Monza is week 5, so after the previous round at Laguna Seca, this is how it all stands. So at the bottom of the table, in 16th is Max on 9 points, 15th is Dizzy Rip on 15th, 14th is DB on 40 points, Souness is in 13th on 41 points, and Viking is in 12th on 47 points. Maybe because some of the guys have missed some of the races, which is why they're down there and on so fewer points. It's not necessarily down to their driving skills, it may be just purely that they've missed a few races. Up at the pointy end though, and at the top of the table, in 5th position, we've got Aussie Rooster on 86 points. Bazza is in 4th with 92. Frowny is 3rd in the championship on 115 points. Scott is in 2nd place on 120 points, but our current championship leader at the minute is Harry Poppins on 148 points. So well done to him. So that's how the league table stacks up going into this race, round 5. As I've already mentioned, we are in Italy at Monza. 3.6 miles, 11 turns, and 3, I call it the third chicane. There's 3 chicanes. Ascari is a chicane, really. And yeah, it's a great track. Sources tell me it's one of, if not the fastest track in Europe. So it is a fast track, we know that. It's almost full throttle all the way around. So yeah, in for some great, exciting racing. So without further ado, we'll crack on and have a look down the grid and see how they stack up for race 1. Now this is after 10 minutes of qualifying. And we've got Souness on pole position. Enzo Jack is in 2nd. Bazza is 3rd. Scott is 4th. Wayne G 5th. 6th on the grid is current league leader Harry Poppins. Wow, maybe this is not the track for him then, but he is 6th, Frowny is 7th, Phaser is 8th, Aussie Rooster 9th, 10th is Pete, 11th is Molepiece, DB is 12th, and Max is 13th. So only 13 on the grid, 3 of the guys missing, we don't know where they are. They just didn't show up for work this morning, so we shall race without them. So without further ado, let's get this race underway, shall we? 13 laps ahead of us. As rolling start, as normal, as we head on down to the first chicane. With the cameraman, there we go. The producer has decided to tell camera 2 to watch what's going on. So I'm going to sort of watch mid-pack, I think. Get a different view of things as we go into this first chicane. Always throws up a few sticky moments as this, as Phaser and Frowny go side by side through the chicane. Oh, and we do have somebody that's gone off. Let's have a look and see if we can find who it was. It's Enzo Jack. Let's have a look and see what happened to him. Currently in 2nd position then. As I say, this chicane always does like to throw something up. So into the chicane we go. Enzo Jack, oh, he just couldn't get the car slowed down, could he? Realised he was going to run into the back of Souness. Tries to take evasive action across the curves, gets a little touch from behind. And well, he's gone from 2nd now down to 13th. So not the start Enzo Jack wanted. Unlucky for him. Did the right thing. He tried to avoid running into the back of the Souness, but that's cost him a lot of places. As we head now into the second of the chicanes at turns 4 and 5. So Souness still leading them from Bazza, also from his teammate Scott, into turn 6 and 7. 2 right-handers with just a very small straight bit in between. So these 5 trying to get away. Let's just have a look. We've got Frowny and Phaser side by side now, as Frowny just gets his nose in front as they exit turn 7 and they start on down the hill towards Ascari. This is the 3rd of the chicanes. Full throttle all the way down here, looking for slipstreaming. You can see Aussie Rooster trying to find a way past Phaser, and it's hard onto the brakes into the entry of this, well, it's a very stretched out chicane, isn't it, but we're going to call it a chicane anyway. Peter's picked up a penalty, as you can see, that he's just about to serve that. So brakes go on, penalty served, and is he going to manage to stay behind his teammate? I think he is. So Pete and Aussie Rooster, still one behind the other. Molepiece in 10th, then we've got DB in 11th, Max with a penalty as well. But he's only just picked that up, hasn't he? In 12th, and then Jack down in 13th. Now, this is just an out, well, 3 wide now as we head down towards the chicane. This is going to get very interesting, as you can't go 3 wide, boys. You'll struggle to go 2 wide. But Scott and Souness try it, and they're still side by side. So great racing between these guys at the minute. Let the cameraman catch up. Souness just gets his nose in front. So Scott has to drop into second, but he put in a good challenge there, didn't he? Let's jump on board with Scott as we head down to the 2nd of the chicanes at turn 4 and 5. He's having a look on the inside, trying to get his car on the inside of Souness, but Souness is not having it. Oh, now that Souness just caught that curve, and that's threw him to the left, and that has allowed Scott to go through. So up towards turn 6, and Scott has now taken over the lead of this race. A slight mistake there from Souness. Maybe the pressure from Scott got to him into turn 7, trying to take a little bit of that curve on the right hand side, and Souness is fighting back now as Scott takes the lead and leads this pack down towards Durante Ascari for the 2nd time. Let's just jump out of there. He doesn't want us in there with him, does he? And it looks like these what, five cars are all starting to now pull away from the rest of the pack. Harry Poppins just sitting there in 5th. He's watching all of this unfold in front of him as Wayne G, Bazza and Souness all try and go 3 wide there. Wayne G on the inside as we come down towards turn 11, which is Parabolica. Scott will get around there first, but then it is, well, quite a battle, a 4-car battle now for P2. Souness is just holding on to it, put his nose in front, but the slipstream is going to help everybody behind him. Souness, I'm not sure he's picking a slipstream up from Scott. He is certainly pulling everybody else along. Well, the cameraman seems quite, he's seen one of his relatives in the crowd. That's what he was looking at. As we go 2 wide into the first chicane again, this time it's Wayne G and Souness. So Souness having a proper fight through these chicanes in the opening few laps. People just settling down a little bit now as Scott leads this race. Wayne G up into 2nd, Souness down into 3rd, Bazza in 4th, Harry Poppins in 5th. He's just sitting there watching all of this happening in front of him. He now has decided he's going to have a go at Bazza into the 2nd of the chicanes. Side by side, Harry Poppins and Bazza. Who gets the best exit? Well, they both got out of there pretty quickly, didn't they, as they go side by side into turn 6. It's the inside line is what you want. You don't want to be out there on the left. It's very easy to go off into the kitty litter, but Bazza manages to hold on to that 4th position. Harry Poppins just has to slot in behind him. Brownie in 6th. Let's just have a drop down and see what's going on elsewhere while this is all taking this battle up at the front. Brownie's in 6th. Then we've got Aussie Rooster in 7th. Phaser in 8th. Pete is 9th. Where is he? There he is. Then we've got, well, quite a decent gap then back to Molepiece in 10th. Enzo Jack has made his way up into 11th. Max is in 12th and DB in 13th. Oh, flash of the lights there. I'm not sure whether something's happened. But, yeah, DB is either an electrical fault or he's angry about something. I'm not sure. Not really supposed to be flashing your lights. It's actually not allowed. So there's obviously something happened there. So back up to the top then. Scott still out in front. Probably what, 1-2 car lengths back to Wayne G. Let's jump on board with Wayne G. We can just see Souness having a bit of a look up the inside now. Then that was a late move from Souness. Let's. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Where are we? There. I've missed it again. Oh dear, I'm all over the place here, aren't I? We want to get a proper look at this. Now then, let's get this camera angle right. There we go. Souness chasing Wayne G down towards the first chicane at turn 1 and 2. Now then, just have a look. Where's the braking? Very late on the brakes is Souness. Couldn't get that car slowed down. He slams into Scott. Scott's going to be absolutely furious, because Wayne G has gone through. Well, that has really altered things in this race, because Scott was looking comfortable actually out in front, and after that little wrecking ball session, shall we say, at turn 1 in the chicane, Wayne G slipped through pretty much unscathed and got himself a bit of a gap. But oh no, he's picked up a penalty, so Scott may be able to resume his lead again when Wayne G serves that penalty. He's going to have to get a little bit closer, but Scott, well, he just needs to forget about that, doesn't he? A few deep breaths and get his head back in the game again, and he'll soon be looking at resuming the lead of this race. He's got his Bazza behind him, although Harry Poppins is having a look. Cameramen are rubbish around here. These Italians need sorting out. Harry Poppins currently in 4th. We've got we've got another 9 laps to go yet, so there's plenty of time for Harry Poppins. Remember, this is just an out-and-out sprint race. There are no scheduled pit stops, so if the guys do come in, it is for reasons only known to them. So Harry Poppins looks like he's itching to put a challenge in against Bazza. He's definitely close enough and in the slipstream, but then again, Bazza's going to be picking up the slip from Wayne G and Scott in front. Scott has managed to get himself back in front again as they head down towards turn 1. Wayne G on the inside though, as they're side by side. Scott is in front by, well, a bumper, that's about it. Wayne G now retakes the lead as they go into the chicane. Who comes out of it first? It's Wayne G, gets a good exit. Scott moves up into second, drops to second. Harry Poppins, great move there at the hairpin. He moves up into 3rd. Bazza now drops down to 4th, with Souness sitting in 5th. Brownie is now caught up to the back of these guys as well, so he's decided to join in. So he'll be soon challenging Souness as they go into turn 4 and 5. Now, they do have names, and as you know, I'm not very good at pronouncing the names. This second of the chicanes is Della Rosia, I think. And then they're into turn 6 and 7, which is the Lesmo curve. And then we're down the Del Seraglio, and this is this long straight section down towards Ferranti Ascari, which is the 3rd of the chicanes. So let's just go back up to the top then. Wayne G still out in front, leading from Scott. Gifted that P1 really after that little incident at the first chicane, but Scott's going to fight back. Still plenty of time left in this race. Harry Poppins, current championship leader, now up into 3rd. He's just biding his time, I think. He's quite happy to just sit behind these guys for the moment. He will pick up the slipstream, although he's also providing it, I think, for Bazza. So it's now a 6-car battle for P1. Nothing is set yet. At the minute, Wayne G holds that P1 position. Scott in 2nd and Harry Poppins 3rd, but nothing's guaranteed. Like I say, we've still got a lot of racing to do or ahead of us. So it could all change. As we've seen, the slightest mistake can cost you. So we'll just go down and have a look a bit further down the field. Beat in 7th. he's okay at the minute. Pressure free from behind. Enzo Jack. Oh, he's picked up a 1 second. That's hard, that is. But he's currently in 8th. Now let's have a look where Phaser is. Yeah, I think if it stays like this, Enzo Jack will manage to hold on to P8, but he is going to lose sight of Pete in front of him. The Phaser, he's down in 9th. Then he's got the 2 teammates of Molpiece and Max. It looks like they're battling away for P10. Maybe there's no team orders. Max carrying that 1 second penalty though, so Molpiece will get a little bit further up the road away from Max, and it could be DB that takes over in P11. Aussie Rooster down in 13th now. Then I'm not sure what happened to Aussie Rooster, and apologies we missed that, but Aussie Rooster, he was up there in the fight, wasn't he, around about P7, so he's obviously had a bit of an issue and finds himself now down in 13th. So the grid now, if you look at the top right, looks like it's split into sort of 2, possibly 3 little groups. We've got this little group at the back, then we've got Wayne J. Well, we've just joined at the right time as all 4 of these guys try and go around Parabolica together. Scott has managed to get himself in front. He's got the move done on Wayne G. Wayne G into 2nd. Harry Poppins still sitting in 3rd. He's got Souness tucked right up under the smelly end of Harry Poppins' car. He's having a good sniff, isn't he? Is he going to get the move done before they get to the first of the chicanes? Harry Poppins goes defensive, doesn't he? Tries to position his car in the middle of the road. Let Souness know that he will defend if he has to. 2 wide for the leaders, Wayne G and Scott, side by side as they both get out of there successfully. Scott just in front. Wayne G trying to get into the slip. He's got Harry Poppins now at the side of him, so those 2 are having a bit of a door bashing session. Harry Poppins just slots behind Wayne G again to pick up the slip as they go into the 2nd of the chicanes. Wayne G trying to go around the outside, bit of a touch there which pushes Wayne G slightly wide. That's like Harry Poppins through, so Harry Poppins now moves up into 2nd. Frowny has gone through, Souness has gone through, so Wayne G has dropped down to 4th there after that chicane. So Souness and Harry Poppins pounced on that opportunity and went through to 2nd and 3rd. Wayne G down now to 4th. He's going to have to fight his way back up onto that podium. Bazza sitting in 5th, Brownie in 6th. So it is these 6 that seem to be breaking away from the rest of the pack. Frowny just hanging in there in the back, just watching it all unfold in front of him. Let's go back up again. It's forever chopping and changing, isn't it? Scott out in front. He's trying to get away. He has opened up a gap, 1 or 2 car lengths. Wayne G starts to make the move on Souness. Basil, he's having a go as well, but Basil's going to have to go a very long way around Parabolica if he wants to make this move work. Wayne G, he's just about in front. No, Basil, see, going all the way around the outside. It looks like Souness has held on to that 2nd. Wayne G hanging on to 3rd. Frowny now moves up to 4th. So Bazza in 5th. It was a long way around for Bazza to go around Parabolica to make that move, and they're still going 3, possibly looking at 4 wide. Wayne G going defensive up towards the chicane. Frowny now moves up into 3rd, well 2nd, then 3rd, then 2nd. Oh, a bit of a touch again, a bit of a more door bashing session as they get out that exit of the chicane. Let's just have a look as they calm down a little bit. So it is now Frowny who's moved up into 2nd, although he does have a half a second penalty to serve. Souness with a half a second as well. Bazza's now back up in there in 3rd. This is fantastic stuff from these guys. Bazza went from sort of 3rd to 5th. He's back up to 3rd again. Now down into 4th as Wayne G goes through on that chicane. It all gets very tight. It's elbows out, isn't it? But it is all good, clean racing so far. Wow, Scott though, in the meantime, he's having it away on his toes, isn't he? All this fighting and battling behind him, it's really playing into his hands. Frowny has moved up into 2nd and he's managing to hold on to that. But for how long and how many will go by him when he serves that penalty? This is the big question. Wayne G definitely will move up into P2. Will Bazza move up into P3? let's just keep an eye on Frowny. He's just about to serve that penalty as we come out of turn 10, and into the penalty zone he goes. Wayne G will definitely go through, and has Bazza got the momentum, or can Frowny get back up to speed? Yeah, Bazza just goes by Frowny, so Frowny loses 2 places, having served that half a second penalty. Harry Poppins right onto the back of him now as well. He's down in 5th. So we start all over again. Scott though, well, he's off and running. He's got a bit of a decent gap now. He can breathe, take his time, get his head back in the game, and concentrate on doing his own thing. He's not being challenged as we go into these turns, which is a massive help. Wayne G, Bazza, Frowny, Harry Poppins, it's slightly different for them guys. They've got to fight for their places at the minute, and currently Wayne G is in 2nd as they all line up behind each other around turn 3. I thought Bazza was going to pull out then and have a look a bit at the inside of Wayne G, but he's not. He's just not close enough yet. So into the second of the chicanes at turn 4 and 5. Wayne G, Bazza, Frowny, Harry Poppins, Pete, Sooners, Enzo Jack has now caught up to the back of these guys as well. So Enzo Jack having a good recovery race, isn't he? Let's just go down a little bit further. Phaser, he's having a bit of a battle with Aussie Rooster as they come around turn 6. So Aussie Rooster now applying the pressure to Phaser. Phaser just off the back of 200 laps at Dragon Trail with Irius, the YouTube guy. So well done to Phaser for that. Great effort, really. Just under 6 hours of racing. So good effort from Phaser. Aussie Rooster then chasing him down. We'll jump on board with Aussie Rooster show as we go into Ascari. The third of the chicanes, then onto this long straight heading down towards Parabolica and turn 11. We can see Phaser just in the distance. He's not really challenging on Aussie Rooster at the minute, so Aussie can concentrate on Phaser. You can see the slipstream really helping pull Phaser in there, so it's hard onto the brakes as they get this sweeping right-hander. Trying to get a decent exit out of here. Aussie Rooster wants to stay tucked right up underneath Phaser to try and make a move as they head into turn 1 and the first of the chicanes, but Aussie Rooster, I'm not sure he's close enough. He needed to be a lot closer to get the move done before this, and they're going to enter into the braking zone now, so I don't think Aussie's going to be putting a challenge in at this point. Try to avoid them sausage curbs, get a decent exit. It looks like both of them did, although Phaser, well, I didn't really see what he did wrong there, but Phaser's picked up a 1 second penalty, which is so unlucky. He will be cussing and cursing. Aussie Rooster will be getting nothing but encouragement from that. He may even try and make a move before they get to the penalty zone. He's decided not to go for it here as they enter into the second of the chicanes at turn 4 and 5. Aussie Rooster, well, he just has to sit behind Phaser, really, doesn't he? He can pick up the slipstream, it'll help him with his tyres, it'll help him with his fuel, and yeah, he's just got to sit there, check out what's in the boot of Phaser's car, and then when Phaser serves the penalty, then he'll move up into P8, unless, well, I'm going to say he's got a slipstream now, and because there's no bump drafting allowed, then Aussie Rooster has got no choice. He's had to make the move there as we come into Varante Ascari for the 10th time. So Aussie Rooster gets that move done before Phaser serves the penalty, so that will just help him get a little bit further away. Maltese in 10 with Max in 11th, and DB Chase. He still get them flashy lights, doesn't he? There is definitely a problem with that Suzuki Swift of DB's, because the lights keep flashing unless he's pressing the wrong button. He may have the button configuration all wrong and he's trying to set his fuel or something, I don't know. But anyway, Scott out in front and looking comfortable now. He's got his wingman behind him in second, so he can hold up the rest of the pack. So that's Bazza. Wayne G is in third. Oh, he's got a 1 second. You can almost hear the language coming out of that car of Wayne G. Oh, sorry, that bit of a noise, wasn't it? I'm a quick swig of water. So Wayne G with a 1 second penalty, that is surely going to allow Frowney and Harry Poppins to take them positions away from him. So Wayne G could end up down in 5th position after this with, 2 laps to go. So he will really be fussing and cursing. Harry Poppins, the current championship leader, currently sitting in 5th. He's looking comfortable actually, just behind Frowney. Just follow these guys through Ascari and down towards Parabolica, and it's Wayne G. He serves that penalty. There's that 1 second. So Brownie goes through, Harry Poppins goes through. So just as we predicted, Wayne G now drops down to 5th, and well, there's a 1 or 2 car lengths gap as well opened up between himself and Harry Poppins, so he may even be out of the slipstream. I think you have to be within 8/10 of the car in front to pick up a slipstream, so Wayne, he might just about be on the edge of that. As Harry Poppins had a look at the inside of Frowney as they go into turn 1, Harry Poppins backs out and resumes his position in P4. Wayne G, well, he's definitely made some ground up, hasn't he, as they came into that chicane. So he's now back up on to the back of Harry Poppins. We're on lap 12, so 2 laps including this one to go. We see Pete and Enzo Jack down in 6 and 7. Aussie Rooster's made his way up into 8. Fazer is in 9th. He's having a battle with Molepiece now as they go around turn 3. Molepiece on the inside, but Fazer will now be on the inside as they get to the second chicane. Turn 4 and 5, so this looks like it could be Fazer's turn. No, Fazer just backs out at the last minute. Just didn't fancy it, so Fazer back down into 10 with Max in 11th and DB in 12th. Have we lost one? I think we have. I think we've lost one, and I can't work out who it is yet, but we've had a retirement. I'm sure there was 13 on the grid. I'm not sure who it is that's gone, but back up to the top, Scott. Well, looking very comfortable now, isn't he, for the win? And as they say, it's his to lose, actually, I think, as he comes up to the start-finish line to cross the line and start the 13th and final lap of this first race. Bazza, his teammate, in second. He's got Frowney, well, right up his backside, hasn't he, in third. Harry Poppins sitting in 4th. Wayne G putting the pressure on Harry Poppins. It looks like they're pushing, Wayne G is pushing Harry Poppins along. He doesn't fancy this, does he? So decides to stay behind Harry Poppins into turn 1. Maybe he's got a game plan. Wayne G knows where he wants to try and attack Harry Poppins, but Harry Poppins isn't going to be easy to get past, is he? He's currently the championship leader, so he's no slouch. And I think this is where the battle's going to be, really. I mean, Frowney's on the podium at the minute, but that's not guaranteed. We've got 2 very quick guys behind him in Harry Poppins and Wayne G, but if those 2 decide to have a bit of a fight, then that's only going to help Frowney out. So these last few turns, Frowney will be sweating a bit. Wayne G just cannot get close enough to Harry Poppins to make a move. As we come down the hill towards Ferrante Ascari for the final time in this first race. We do have one more race coming up after this, and it's I the same distance, but there are pit stops to be had as Wayne G goes very, very wide on the exit of turn 10. Now that may have just he's got a penalty as well, so that's just ensured that Harry Poppins gets fourth. But our race leader comes around Parabolica for the final time. Great racing from Scott, kept his cool, and a thoroughly deserved win from him. So across the line for Scott. Bazza, his teammate, fantastic points for them. Crowley in third, Harry Poppins fourth, Wayne G fifth. Peach is going to cross the line in sixth, with Enzo Jack just behind him in seventh. Aussie Rooster around turn 11, and across the line he'll go to take P8. So well done to Aussie Rooster. Molepiece will finish in ninth. Fazer, he crosses the line in 10th, with Max 11th, and then DB across the line in 12th. So as I've said already, that was race 1 of 2. Join me very shortly for the second race.